You talked about the use of technology and you want to get conscious consumers to sort of use technology to reach out to brands and raise awareness about not using child labor or any other such issues. But what about the use of technology, and how much of that are you seeing, for instance, when it comes to stopping trafficking, when it comes to identifying missing children?
Yeah.
And what is the future for the use of technology in being able to address this problem?
You have seen the reunion of Sonu, but it took about a year and a half to find him, because his parents were coming every day or every other day and knocking my door, and it was so painful to watch them. In one of such private screenings last year during the Sundance Film Festival, a young person, actually 2 or 3, not just one, asked the question, what is happening with Sonu? That time Sonu was not yet found. So, you have noticed that something was added in the last bit of the film, because Sonu was not yet found. So everybody was asking in many places of the world, in the private screening, that what is the fate of Sonu? Would you be able to find him or not? And I spontaneously said that if Sonu is alive anywhere in the world, we will find him. We will find him. It took so much time, but finally we were able to find them. But in this process, we started learning that how we can use technology. The simplest thing was the facial recognition. In India, for example, 120,000 children are registered as missing children. And about 200,000 children are registered in various shelter homes, child care homes of the governments and civil society organizations. And many of them might be missing children from other part of the country. And we found Sonu in one of those shelter homes. So on the basis of that, when we found Sonu, an idea came to our mind that why can't we introduce the simple technology in gathering all the information, the faces of the missing children as well as the faces of all those children, photos of all those children who are living in those facilities. So it was not easy. Finally, the High Court of Delhi ordered it, and within a week, 6,000 children were reunited with their families just through this simple technology of facial recognition. It is possible. So that's why we have to promote use of technology in tracing these children.
Well, you make it sound very easy. I'm sure it's not, but we have enough time for 2 more questions. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Hi there. I'm Sandy from Hong Kong. I'm a lawyer and a public policy researcher. And I really believe in compassion. I think that is the answer to a lot of problems in the world. And I just wondered if you can give us insight into what Sonu's father was thinking, because I distinctly remember that question that you asked him in the documentary, which was, well, you sold your son for 200 rupees and left him there. And I just had to check how much 2,000 rupees was. Oh, not 200, sorry, 2,000 rupees. And I spend more than that, for lunch. And the thing about compassion is that you need to understand how the parents are thinking, right? It's not just about compassion for the children. And I wonder, how can we change the parents' thinking? Or what is how can you possibly give your child, I just can't understand. And I just wondered if you can give us insight and to feel compassion for the parents. Why would they sell the child for something that I would spend over a lunch?
Yeah, so it does not happen in most cases when the parents sell their children. It happens once in a while, but in most of the times, the traffickers and the slave masters, they befool those parents and they make rosy dreams. They tell all the stories that your child would be able to earn money, he's happy there, and all kind of things. And they offer some money. And how this trafficking begins in most cases. Only in a very, very few cases, the parents, because of pressure, because of they have no other choice, because they have lost all the hopes to find the child back, like in case of Sonu's father, he was satisfied with a small amount of money which was given in the end of the day. But Sonu's mother did not sit quiet. She kept on fighting. She has thrown her husband away, told that you cannot come back home until unless you find Sonu. So the father later on realized, and he felt very badly later on. He lied down on my feet, and he was crying all the time that he made a big mistake by sending Sonu like that and accepting this small amount of money. So that was his case. But normally we have to create an environment where we can generate hope in the communities and among the parents and some better alternate for their lives. And for example, education. If they are sensitized enough and they understand the value of education in comparison to sending a child and earn quick money for a few years and then the child becomes sick and lose all the hopes. So I would say the consciousness raising is the first step towards social transformation. But that needs a lot of patience. That needs a lot of resilience. You have to, a lot of continuity. So continuous patience efforts have to be made to create awareness as well as raising consciousness in the society. By way of giving some good examples, some success story, like in the villages which are trafficking prone areas, we take some of the icons, like some local leaders or some local police officers, teachers or headmasters or people like that, journalists who came from the same background or similar background or belong to same community or caste system in Indian caste. And when they tell the story, the woman from the lowest social strata of society emerged as the district magistrate, and she goes and talks to the people. Then they realize, oh, sending their daughters to work is not good, but their daughter can be like her. So these kind of examples and success story also helps in creating awareness in the society in practical terms. So we have so many activities in India and across the world in sensitizing people.
You know, there's plenty more questions in the room, but unfortunately we are out of time. So to the audience here and the audience that's watching us online, if there is one message that you want to send out, Mr. Satyarthi, what is it?
One message would be, with some practical thing, is that don't wait for leaders outside to come and change the world and shape a better world. There is a leader inside each one of you. Feel the leader. Respect that leader. You need not to look for change outside. The great people are coming and assembling here every year in Davos. Good. But the real leader is inside you. Real change is inside you. Start now. As you raise your hands, keep on raising your voice against wrongs. Make sure that these children are your brothers and sisters. Ignite that compassion inside you. Don't wait for others. So this is something which I have learned instead of waiting for everyone. When I was receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, I was invited to give the acceptance speech, and I lost my papers. And it never happened in the 100 years of their history. May it be Martin Luther King, may it be Nelson Mandela, may it be Dalai Lama. Nobody has ever lose their papers. The papers were there to read. And then everybody was nervous, except me. And I started smiling and I said that I'm more comfortable now. And that I said that I'm going to tell a story. A heavy fire broken out in jungle. All animals were rushing for a safer place, leaving the jungle, including King Lion. And King Lion noticed that a tiny hummingbird flying straight towards the fire. And surprisingly, he shouted, "What are you doing, committing suicide?" The bird answered, "No, sir, I am going to extinguish this fire." Lion asked, "How come? You are crazy?" She said, "No, sir. Look at my beak. I am carrying a drop of water. I am doing my bit because I was born and grew up in this jungle. I cannot leave. Rest is the history. There is a hummingbird inside each one of you. Just identify it, acknowledge it, respect it. That hummingbird is calling to do something good for others, good for the society, good for this humanity, because this humanity belongs to you, young people especially. Whatever mistakes we made in our generation, you have to change that. Change those wrongs to rights that you can do. Ready to do? Ready to do?
Yes.
No, this is not the voice of young people. Ready to do?
Yes.
Great, then join this campaign, and I think my colleagues might have distributed this short, a small, are you going to do it or going to distribute now?
Yeah, they've got them.
You have got it?
Yes.
Are you going to sign up? Yes. Again, raise your hands before we disperse. Be my friend, not the follower. Good, thank you so much.
Kailash Satyarthi, many thanks. May the force continue to be with you.
Thank you.